What's up, everybody? Joseph R. Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation, with a special message as I get one of my ONYXCON fitness walks on. Whenever I walk, I always say, when I walk, when I hike, when I fish, when I get active, when I move that body, it moves the brain, I start thinking. And I hearkened, I like that word, hearkened back to a famous film. To me, it's famous. You may have never heard of it, but it's called, came out in 2004, and it's called A Day Without a Mexican. Shout out to all my people from Mexico, okay? All my Mexican brethren and sisters, okay? Whether you acknowledge me as a brother or sister, and my people as brothers and sisters or not, as a man of direct African descent, y'all are of direct African descent too. That's a whole nother conversation, not the point of this video, but for those who know, much respect, brothers and sisters, what's happening? But I say it like this to the whole world. I say, I'm gonna love you whether you know to love me or back or not, because I know you're mine. We all one big ass family, and family ain't always in agreement or all of that. But here's the point, right? That movie was great, okay? It was a independent, lesser known film. I mention it a lot to friends when I see that they're on a certain level of consciousness to see if they're aware of movies like that. I watch all types of films, but it was a great movie. And the whole point of the movie was that it happened in Los Angeles, as I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a while. I only seen it once, and once was amazing. I still want it in my DVD collection. I need to go ahead and buy it. But anyway, it tells the story of how the upper class, the ruling class, the mostly rich and white class, and others who, rely off of the labor force of Mexicans doing all the jobs they don't want to do, or that they would never want to do or ever do, or never allow their kids to do, etc. Yard work, deliveries, all the stuff that makes, stuff actually function. If they were not there, if literally one day they woke up and things were gone. But it goes beyond just the stuff people could see that becomes missing. And it got into the stuff that you take for granted because you never thought about the fact that a country like Mexico provides so many things, so many fruits, so many vegetables, so many medicines, so many cosmetic elements, so many, just you keep going, and before you know it, you realize, oh, wait a minute, this affects every facet of my life, my existence, right? Especially if I'm wealthy and I don't, I go to a job and I'm in the 1%ers, I'm 100,000 and up, some of us millionaires, a lot of us millionaires.
Land, you got water, and you got Mexicans, labor. Without any one of those, you're on your ass, like I am.
In Central Valley, we're just getting the phone calls right now from the Central Valley. There's nobody in the fields. They are looking for people to go and pick the fruits and vegetables which are rotting today on the field.
All kind of messed up infrastructure. I'll never forget the news reporters. That was one of the funniest scenes. The news reporters came on and they looked like crap. I mean, nobody had on makeup. Their hair wasn't done. They were looking just depressed and sad. They really looked sick, And it reminded me of, during the pandemic time and how a lot of celebrities, whether they were doing it on purpose or not, to relate to the everyday people, they were going live on Instagram and stuff, and they were looking like what those newscasters were looking like in the movie. I mean, folk were looking rough. I never seen some people I didn't even know who they were sometimes. They would go, I said, oh snap, this is so-and-so. Wow, without a haircut, without a lineup, without her makeup, without his haircut, without, without their flyest clothes on and all their jewelry and whatever that makes them the celebrity we know or whatever, right? And that was, and that really takes it to the ultimate point, the literal ultimate point. I want to make a movie, and honestly, I'm gonna say this knowing it's a brilliant idea, and I gave credit to the movie that sparked an entire genre, and really could be an entire genre of films, because it's not the first movie, A Day Without a Mexican, to deal with what if, and if we were not here, how you would wish we were for various groups of people, and how that we all interconnect, and how people have been taken advantage of and taken for granted and all of that, right? Especially being Black American. I mean, you could go back to, I have to mention also a famous show that was produced by George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic. George was the host of the show. It was kind of like a Twilight Zone type concept. Okay, Cosmic Slop. And it was named after one of their famous songs, Doing the Cosmic Slop. It was one of the jams. You know, Parliament's one of my, I forever loved Parliament.
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slop.
And what might be strange for some may be a news for others.
Bernie, some of these people have been out here since 2 o'clock this morning, though the aliens aren't scheduled to arrive before noon. But as you can see...
We are space traders bearing exquisite gifts that will restore your nation to its former glory. Nearly limitless quantities of gold and precious metals that will instantly erase your deficit. Machines that will renew your rivers and your air. Cold fusion technology, every child, woman, and man in your nation with at least 2,500 milligrams of melanin in their skin per square centimeter.
What the hell is melanin?
Put more simply, in trade for solving all your most pressing domestic catastrophe, you would classify as black.
Are you kidding?
No, we are not.
What are you going to do with them?
Well, that does not concern you. We give you 5 days to decide, and the offer is non-negotiable. We will not try to coerce you in any way. Yet, I hope we can do some business together.
You hear what I'm saying? Let's go. All right, so here it is. I live the art life. I'm an artist in every sense of the word, I often say. And one of my biggest issues is people not appreciating or even understanding what the arts are. I gave a profound definition of what art is many, many years ago. I came up with this in college, and it's gonna be one of my great totems, said while I'm alive and left long after I'm gone. And I want people to remember that I was one of the first to ever say this. But the true definition of the arts are any and every creative expression that appeals to the senses. When I say appeals, meaning when your senses become aware of these things that are the arts, whether you like what you see, hear, smell, touch, feel, etc., because it's about your senses, you react. You do react. You might not be favorable to it. You might be incredibly favorable. You might love it. You might be like, oh, I don't like that. Or, it's like you see a horror movie and you don't like the movie. You don't like what you see going on. Versus some other horror movie, you like, that was brilliant. It was deep. What that monster really represented. So it's all taste. It's all personal taste. And all that has to be determined and it has to be analyzed by the brain. But the only way it gets to the brain is through our senses. And I mean all 5 of them plus the 6th sense, your spirit, your soul, your very essence, while you are alive and breathing amongst us before you go and transition to be an ancestor, okay? So, A Day Without an Artist is a movie I would like to make, and I am a filmmaker, I'm a writer. I haven't even started on a script for this, but I've often thought I need to make that movie. And if I don't make the movie, I have to be a part of it. So I'm telling you right now, if you see this, you hear this, and you say, oh, you're just one of them people you want to run with the ball because it's like, that is brilliant. I could write that. Ooh, wee, wow, wow. Tell you what, I better get a letter in the mail. Mr. Wheeler, you will be a leading man in this film because you're the inspiration for the whole reason we're even doing this thing. Very honored. Let's go. What's the paycheck looking like? Because that's where it all begins with this story, is understanding the value of what the arts are and what everyone who is truly an artist brings to all societies and the entire world. Because whatever you're doing in your sector of the world, it will affect all humanity eventually. It don't have to happen in your lifetime. But if you made an impact as an artist, it's gonna have impact forever. So let's break it all down. In that movie, like I said, the folks on the newscasting and everything, what are people who do the news? In essence, they are performance artists. They are akin to actors. And sometimes they have to act. It is a skill as an actor, I know, to deliver bad news with a solemn look, even when you're not necessarily wanting to feel that way at the time, but it's your daily routine. You got to do that for it's really bad news. I got to show that I feel this, but within seconds of saying, and there were 5,000 people dead on the scene. But in other news, we have a wonderful fair coming to Atlanta this month, and you want to get the entire family ready for this incredible explosion of excitement. How do you go from something thousand people just died to, hey everybody, there's a wonderful fair coming to town? You have to have the skill of an actor. Those are artists. They wear hair and makeup accoutrements to make them look a certain way for the camera. The person behind the camera understands technical things, but they have to have an artistic eye for what they're dealing with to make it constantly appeal to your senses as the audience. Their wardrobe, fashion, style, if you were in their presence, the very way they smell, yes, aromatherapy. The design and the elements of what make certain smells go together and be appealing to our nostrils, whether it be for our food or just the way we smell to each other, is an art. Massage, yes, massage therapy. The art of understanding how to touch each other to heal and to maintain health. These are arts. Not just, but never, one should ignore the power of the visual. Because most people, when they hear the word art, all they think of is paintings and drawings in a museum. And that is a very limited scope of the full definitions and relatability of all these other categories and how they are actually formally structured into society. It's right brain, left brain theory. The side of the brain that deals with the arts. There's whole schools, plural, at every major university in the world. Schools of the arts, schools of the sciences. But the schools of the sciences know, no matter how much ego certain societies allow to develop an air of we are better than the arts with the sciences because we are the doctors, we are the lawyers, we are the... Whoa. Most people who become doctors, who become lawyers, etc., their first examples, if not for relatives and friends, and even if, come from watching TV shows of somebody. Man, I grew up watching Perry Mason, and that made me want to be a lawyer. I never knew I could be a lawyer as an African American until I saw Chadwick Boseman play one in a film. I never knew I could be this, that, and the other as a Latino until I saw such and such do it on a stage at a performance. I never knew that I could. This is where the wonder and the confirmation of children come from. And then some people said, oh, that's absolutely right. And that's why we love our arts, because we have to have arts, because it's just a little hobby. It's something to inspire the rest of us who make the real money. And the rest of you artists need to go get real jobs. That's where you... That's where I got an issue with y'all. Those of you who keep that mess rolling in these societies. Until we get to a point where the arts are championed after everything past survival itself. No matter what you say, after survival, there is inspiration and creativity. And until you allow inspiration and creative thought to flourish, you will never have peace. You will never get rid of the concept of war. You will never have people value each other's lives enough to know we can't afford to eliminate anyone who has a creative spirit, which in essence, every living being has this. It's whether or not it's fully going to develop to the point of it manifesting into one of the arts. It doesn't happen for most people in a lifetime, but they all have a little bit in them. They just don't necessarily train it. They don't value it enough, or they know that, hell, they value it, extremely value, but they know, oh man, I don't want to be broke. American society, man, you can't live being an artist, man. They make them artists. All my artist friends struggle. And this is large in part true. It's not always true, but large in part it is true. And they gatekeep the ones who are allowed to get a little bit of the pie. Because I know some friends of mine who are artists, man, they doing real well. I'm talking about, I know visual artists that's getting paid like they actors and stuff. They're famous and they do, but there's only a few. Because yes, they are gatekept. Otherwise, Viola Davis and Taraji P. Henson wouldn't have had those viral videos.
I'm just tired of working so hard. Now we have 5 million. Your team is getting 30% or whatever your team is off of what you grossed,
Sometimes
not
more.
after what Uncle Sam took. Now do the math. So I'm
tired.
I'm only human, and it seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again, like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I get
Talk
that.
about what's really going on in the Hollywood industries as black women, as actors who should be paid the same as their white women contemporaries of the same age, or even women younger than them who are white who are getting paid triple, double what they get paid. Makes no sense at all for their level of talent and what they've brought to the arts, to the thespian culture, to the history of film. But that's the stuff. And it's allowed and it's placated by every excuse for why it must continue, because it's the same type of reasoning for those who would say, well, you know, I mean, we can't put that much money in the arts like we do the sciences. I mean, come on. No one's going to, you know, I need a surgery, I'm not going to call an artist. You're missing the damn point. If you respect the artist, some of the surgeries you got, you wouldn't even need. We're in trouble now. We're in trouble now. Now we're messing with the medical industry. Look, I got no problem with the medical industry. They've been my rescue at times in my life, and I appreciate those people for being more technical minded in those times when I needed that. But I know that when they need to settle down, when they need to relax, when they need to go and chill out from what's not got nothing to do with the surgery room and knowing what's going on with side effects of a drug or whatever, they turn to the arts. All I'm saying is, why shouldn't the artists be paid with the same amount of respect for the healing and the prevention of disease that art creates? See, we prevent, but see, you know, then we get into other questions. Do certain industries even want to prevent? Or do they just want to keep people sick? What was the documentary, Sicko? They make money off of people being sick. So y'all know the rest of that. But for those of you who are aware of these things I'm talking about, or just never thought of them as broad as I'm talking about them, start to apply this to the concept of how you respect the arts. Apply it so much, but apply it so heavy that when you have people in your family who are obviously artists, do not tell them they gotta go get a real job. They have a real job and they're doing it if they're doing their art. Respect and support their journey. And don't use their skills. Even if you know you've done a lot for them and they couldn't have done half of the things they're doing in this society, not because they're not trying, but because of the way things are set up, that you've helped them and everything. That doesn't mean when you go to them and you need their skills for something. I put it like this, I'm gonna put it real simple. I'm gonna finish that sentence first. Don't go to them and ask them for nothing free, and don't go to them and try to cheapskate them off of what they're worth. If you had to have a kidney taken out and you got a friend in the family, hell, a direct relative, parent, your child is the doctor or whatever, they might be able to give mom or dad a discount somehow through some kind of program they are aware of or whatever. But if they work for a major reputable hospital, they can't change the bill for mom and dad. If you're the best friend, it's calling on your boy, your girl, yo, I really need some legal help, man. You're a lawyer, can you help me out? Yeah, they can help you out. They might cut a few things off the bill, but you already know it's gonna be in the hundreds to the thousands. You wouldn't dare ask them, hey man, handle this thing for free. it's out of the question. It's not even in the conversation if it's actually going to go to court. Maybe some advice. Yeah, I mean, I can talk to you and tell you some things right now that normally I charge somebody for. I'll tell you, but I got friends who've done that for me, who are lawyers. But I know if we had went to court, oh yeah, whatever the settlement is, I got to break them off. I got to break them off. So why then would you go to an artist? Hey man, can you just draw this? You know, you do that real cool art stuff, man. Draw this little picture for me, man. Everything's little with us. Everything's so easy to do. Because we get to that point where we're so skilled, people think, it was so easy for you to do that. Why would I have to pay my friend for that? Why would I have to pay my family member for that? Because goddamn it took decades of life and experience to bring you that couple of minutes worth or a day worth or however, no matter how long it took to make. It's valuable. When you get a logo, it lasts a lifetime if you use it properly. Whoever made the logo for Coca-Cola, their family should never, ever starve a day. Ever. Everybody in that family should be good. I don't know the situation with that logo, but I do know of many like that are not. Died in obscurity, family in poverty, or still overworked and underpaid somewhere. Makes no sense whatsoever. I'm saying a new day has been coming and it's here. Artists will demand our value to any and everyone in our lives. And you will not disrespect what the arts are. And you will have to acknowledge the value of what we bring. And it will not be a defensive, angered thing to get the result of an artist telling you, well, this is what something's worth to me. And here's an invoice, or et cetera, et cetera. You're going to understand. That is expected. Now, I'm saying this having had to bite the reality that even what I'm sharing right now doesn't apply directly in my own life with some people I know and love because of the way my life has been structured and what they still help me with or have helped me with, etc. But I am going to acknowledge the fact that as an artist, everything I do and have done as an artist has a value to it that should be looked at differently than what it is looked at. And until these things change, it goes beyond a personal community level, family level, society level. It's global, y'all. And it's the reason why humanity, for all of the ways we say we're doomed, and people love to say that and love movies, again, art, made to show us how we could reach our demise and destroy ourselves. It's all something just to think about before we go and get up and most of y'all go to those real jobs, okay? After these real artists gave you this incredible movie concept. You think about it, but it's just something to talk about on the lunch break. It's not to be taken seriously. Well, guess what? It is time to take it serious. Because everything we imagine could be 10 times worse than what we share. One of my favorite genres is cyberpunk. And I often say, cyberpunk is some cool looking shish that I don't never want to live. But what's really scary is we are already so close to that reality. Just food for thought, y'all. Talk about it on your lunch break. And if you know an artist, just send them a check out the blue. Much respect to all my real ones. Stay up. Art life forever. Joseph R. Wheeler III. ONYXCON.